Okay, Leo. Hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Saturn. I'm a tarot reader with over 15 years experience, and today we are getting right into it. I have a reading for Leo, and it's the last of my zodiac readings series that I started a couple months ago. And, uh, mm, well, I don't like these cards that flew out. We have the Seven of Swords and the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So it's quite possible, Leo, there is some self-sabotaging going on, some isolation happening, some victim maybe mindset, some like the ends justify the means type deal, some kind of like, justifications of how you're moving, of how you're thinking, of how you are talking. Um, mm, there is some kind of in theme with the last reading for Cancer. There's a little bit of like lack of accountability here, uh, or like kind of maybe like false accountability. I think like there is a sense of othering yourself and kind of separating yourself from the group, um, making excuses for that. And Leo, come on, you're a part of the group. Come on, Leo, you're a part of you're a part of the pack. Okay, we don't got any lone wolves here. Okay, acting there's no individualism. That's not real. Okay, we don't get anywhere without each other. We're social beings. You have an effect on people. Okay, so there's some humility in the like positive direction that we could bring in, right? um yeah, yeah, not everything. Ooh, okay, not everything is about you, Leo. This reading is about you, but not everything is about you. The hell of cards fell to the floor. Okay, we got the death card in reverse. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, we got some cards that were upside down and then flew over. This is a lot. Okay, look at all these cards. It's not a mistake. It was a. I mean, I didn't mean to do that, but everything has meaning in readings. Everything has meaning in readings. All right, so we got the Strength and the Empress, two solidly strong cards here, right? Like, I think there's some part of you that is denying your strength, and like the power that you have. We have the Death card in reverse, so there's some alarmism happening. There's some fear for sure that you are feeling right now, Leo. And it's justified, right? There is like possibly a toxic, abusive, unhelpful, unhealthy situation that you are currently escaping. So, I mean, it's quite possible that you have been victimized and you have been behaving in a way to survive. And I think there's also kind of like an avoiding the reality of that and like this inability to move forward. And or this fear because like you kind of have no choice but to move forward. And with the theme of the readings, the Eight of Cups, okay, we have like this spiritual journey that we're going on. Like, we're for sure going somewhere, and it's definitely not in this way that you have been behaving, this self-sabotaging behavior, this like, ooh, woe is me type feeling, or like the vindication that you feel, or like the separation, some kind of like, I don't know. I think a part of you is really fed up with this, actually, like with yourself and like the ways that you've been thinking around this, and like you're like, come on, just like get it together, dude. Like, right? And it's still scary. It's still scary to move forward because you know that like this is a journey where you can't turn back. You can't go back to the ways that you know. I think that this is actually a threshold that you've already crossed. And you're kind of like mentally struggling with that. And it's just kind of like, well, but what if I could just like, you're kind of like bargaining with yourself and slash the universe. But you know, like you've tried it already and like you know that those old behaviors don't really work for this new paradigm, for this new like world that you've crossed into. Like you tried it and you're like, oh, that didn't work, and then you're like, fuck, well, now I gotta fucking do my shit. Now I gotta like put my big boy pants on, right? And like make the choice, and I'm fucking terrified, and like it's kind of for no good reason, right? I think like this death already happened and you're kind of like trying to avoid something that already happened, which totally makes sense. I don't know why. That like just totally makes sense to me. We have the 4 of Cups in reverse as well as the 8 of Wands. And this last one, the only one that didn't turn over for me, it was hidden and in reverse, is the 3 of Cups. Chisme, maybe. Okay. So Leo, I feel like this is gonna be a short and sweet one, but like it's juicy though. It's juicy. Okay. So this 4 of Cups reversed is like, you're like been there, done that. I'm kind of on to better things now, actually. It's so interesting. Like I feel like you are so at odds with yourself. Your ego is just like raging inside of you, right? You're like, I am not worthy of this thing that I'm going through, or like I'm not worth it. Just like don't mind me. I'm just gonna keep doing my little seedy behavior. And then you're like, but actually I'm way sick of that and I'm worth so much more and I can do so much better and I know because I'm amazing. And like don't like miss me with that, whatever else shit you got going on. Like so there's those pieces, and then like the trick is the meeting point is this like humility that is necessary for you to really make that change that you have been dreaming of, and like take that chance, and saying no to old things, and saying no to like that old behavior. And also like I feel like there are missed opportunities here as well, because of the way that you've been like thinking and feeling and like ruminating, and you're ready to move forward with this 8 of Wands. That's like boom, that's like action, that's like getting it done, right? With the 8 of Cups too, like there is some heat. I'm also kind of like, there's like steam, right? With the 8 of Wands and the 8 of Cups, because it's like fire and water, and that's just like creating steam, and like there's this pressure building, right? And then with the 3 of Cups in reverse, like again, I feel like you're still kind of feeling ostracized and like kind of isolating yourself from community a little bit, when really I think that's kind of a key piece here, is your integration into like the reality of your place in your community and the impact that you have. And it is both profound and not profound, right? Like that is life. We're humans. And like the impact that we have on each other is both profound and not profound. Um, and like really accepting this and like really coming from that place without sinking into that mindset of like not being worthy or like not feeling like a part of. It's a fine balance, but I think it's totally possible and reasonable, and it just takes a little bit of a challenge. It just takes a little bit of like you meeting the challenge that is being offered to you, which is really just this like moving away from these toxic behaviors, moving away from this self sabotage, this kind of cyclical like self abuse, even, right? Like, I think some of you might be like, one, like in this fear, and then two, kind of beating yourself up about it, right? Like, I think you really got to look at that self talk, Leo, and really practice your spirituality, really get into that, whatever it is that makes you feel connected. I really think that like that is where you want to lean in. And I think there's some of it with that journey specifically, like it's difficult for you because you really want to experience new stuff, because you have done quite a bit of it. And I think part of you thinks that you're going to have to go through all of that learning process again. But I think like once you do it, once you pick it up, you'll just pick up kind of right where you left off. And it'll just kind of like you along. And this Three of Cups reversed, like I want to know how to connect to community. Like, what is the key here for Leo? Whoa. Okay. Interesting. I don't understand how that's a key. So I'm gonna have to sit with that for a second. Okay. The Ten of Swords being the key. The like, this is fine. The like, yeah, I'm literally like burnt out and dead, but like it's fine. Surrender is possibly a part of that. Accepting that this journey is over, that this way of being is over, accepting that death, right? We kind of have like two death cards here. Like this Ten of Swords is not like the death card, but it is like a card of like ending and cutting things off and like just being like completely done. And also kind of like going around in so many circles in your head that you just like burn yourself out and you can't even think anymore. And then the death in reverse is kind of similar to that, actually. So yeah, like really accepting that you crossed that threshold already, that your old like behavior of your old you is like, it's done, and you've entered into this new era of Leo. And like, we got this in the last one. Okay. So accepting that you're done, and also like really coming at it with that humility and like that mutual aid is like, that is the one that comes up for me with this card. It's the last reading. Like, I think that's where you will find humility, is by like really actually engaging with your community in mutual aid, with sharing resources, doing service trades, like really connecting with people, because that like self-sabotaging, isolating, like I don't need anybody's help type of behavior, or like nobody wants to help me, or like nobody wants to be around me, or like I don't actually have any friends, and like blah blah blah, whatever it is, right? Like nobody really knows me. Those lies that you tell yourself, right? And of course, nobody really knows you. You don't even know you. Like, it's impossible to do that because we're ever shifting. We're always changing. There is no static self. But like, really, like getting out of yourself by being of service to the people in your community, and doing so in a way that is like coming from a real place, like doing so in ways that you are like genuinely called to do, and not ways that just kind of like distract you or make you feel better about yourself. I mean, they can make you feel better about yourself, but that's not like the end all be all, right? There is like a mutual learning here. There is a mutual exchange happening in this process, and it has to be equivalent. It has to be like on the same level. Right? And I think that level too is like with people who you really vibe with. I think like this could be like another Leo, or like a Libra, or like, you know, Leo Libra pair kind of happening here. Yeah. So I think your people are around, and like I think that they do have an understanding of like what it's like to feel isolated from community and feel like they're not a part of like the community that they're actually very much a part of. And I think like opening up and sharing about that, and like really just like getting deep and getting like genuine throughout the process, and like really real, and stop playing these games of like trying to, I don't know, like play both sides, so to speak. Like, what am I trying to get at here, right? Like, that's done. You don't need to play games anymore with people, right? I think you are over playing games. I think that it's kind of like, what is that saying? Straight from the horse's mouth, or whatever. It's like you are done playing games. You know the power you hold, and like there is also kind of like you're kind of done with other people feeling like this too. It's like ready to just like kind of slap some truth into people and like shake them, and kind of shake yourself too in the process, right? And really speak realness and speak truth, and like be the strength, and like be that person that people need to see doing so. I mean, that's Leo's whole deal, right? Is like Leos are humanitarian in the like, I will live my authentic truth so that others can see. Like, I will let my light shine so that others can see and be inspired to let their light shine. Like that, when you do that, it really does, it gives permission to others to be able to do that, right? And I think all that we're missing here is really like this self-imposed isolation piece. I think like that is kind of unnecessary. I also like want to emphasize too that you don't need to earn your place, because either you have already earned your place, or you're just there, and you gotta trust that like that's where you're meant to be. I also think that like you may feel like you have kind of like deceived and manipulated your way into this spot. I don't think that's true. Just because maybe you have deceived and manipulated in the past doesn't necessarily mean that like that's how you got to where you are now, if that makes sense. Because like if you are following the path that feels right to you, even if you go astray, like you're still kind of like, you can kind of come back onto that path. And just because you went astray doesn't necessarily mean like that's how you got there, if that makes sense. I don't know, but it's important to have this experience because you can like relate on multiple levels, and you know that it's possible to change. You know that you have the right to change. You know that you have the ability to change. You know that it's inevitable that you will change. It's just kind of up to you to decide, like, I don't know. I was going to say it's up to you to decide how you're going to change, but also, like, for me, what I'm seeing here is very much like it's up to you to decide or to recognize that that change has already been made, essentially. And my candle is like going off right now. It just like, it really liked that. So I think like what we're really looking at here is like, dude, you have already crossed that threshold. You've already done that initiation piece. What are you afraid of, right? Like, why are you just like hanging out in this doorway looking back at like from where you came from, instead of like getting your ass up and walking forward? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Leo. Okay? Again, short and sweet. I mean, 21 minutes, not the shortest, but I think it is maybe the shortest of all of the Zodiac ones that I have done so far. Because that message, I think, is super straightforward. And like, I don't know, I'm not gonna like give you a rallying cry, Leo, because I think you have it already within you. And like, there's nothing that I can say that's going to get you to the point that you need to be. That is up to you. Like, mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally. It's all up to you, right? So you get to decide how you approach the world. You get to decide whether or not you want to hang out in this liminal space, in this threshold, or if you want to take the leap and move forward on this path that you've already chosen. That you've already chosen, you just need to accept that you chose this path already. And so, like, are you going to walk it or not? You don't have a whole lot of a choice in that matter, because you already made the choice, right? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about, okay? You know what I'm talking about. All right. Thank you for joining me. It was such a different vibe than the Cancer read. And I hope that you comment if you resonate with this. Let me know, because if you don't tell me, I won't know. And hit me up if you want to get a personal reading. My email is thesharpestteeth@gmail.com, and I have concluded the Zodiac sign readings, and I will see you next time in a general reading. Well, I won't see you, but you will see me. All right. I'll see you later. I love you.